Good evening, and welcome to CBN. My name is Nick White. For today's show, we're going to have a fall sports wrap-up. Also, we have an inaugural theater segment where we have Joseph answering a couple of questions for us. Also, we have the band concert wrap-up. And later on, we're going to have Matt Lindberger doing a movie review. And now, here's Joseph. Questions for you. So, my first question is, how is working in this new theater we have now?
Well, adaptation and change, prime qualities of shamanite education, and I think we all really adapted well to the new space.
That's great. And, how was the cast?
Cast was a great cast. I thought it was casted very well, and all those who got solos were very deserving.
That's good to hear. So, how do you think it went overall? Like, would you have any advice for the younger kids or any improvements you'd have seen this year if you came back and saw the show?
Well, my advice to the young kids is I had never been anything but a chorus member, and to be something better than a chorus member, and that first thing being the lead in the musical, I mean, just keep going. Just getting cast as the chorus isn't that big of a deal. So, keep going, little boys.
And that's Adam Kemp. Thank you for the wise words, Adam.
No problem, Nick White.
And now we have. And now for the band. I'm the vice president of the wind ensemble, so I've been doing this for a couple years now, about 7 years or so. So it was a great experience since we've been working in Tron for all our Bucktail band concerts, and now just getting into this new theater and it's really beautiful music. I thought it was a great experience, and I'm glad for everyone coming. We had a great crowd, all the parents. I thought everyone played very, very well. So I'm really excited to come back for the winter concert and play some Christmas music. And just come on, just want to see how the band evolves in this new home they have here. So, and that is the inaugural theater segment for today.
Mikey Nudge.
When Paranormal Activity came out to general audiences in 2009, so did major controversy. Some claimed it was the scariest movie ever made. Some claimed it was an overhyped pile of low-budget fertilizer. Personally, I think that Paranormal Activity was a fantastically original, fear-based film that highlighted the simplistic yet creative side of horror. It was a refreshing take on a genre that had been stricken with cheesy serial killers and dumb teenagers. By the time I saw Paranormal Activity 3, found footage films could be found in every theater on Halloween. Some examples are Apollo 18 that came out in 2011, Quarantine that came out in 2008, and The Fourth Kind that came out in 2009. However, Paranormal Activity 3 still has maintained its spot at the top of the found footage hill. Even though this entry was over 350 times more expensive to create, Paranormal Activity 3 keeps its audiences terrified through believable acting, a haunting premise, no pun intended, and a unique method of tension building. Essentially, the acting in this film is as believable, if not more, than a ghost's existence. The main character, Christy Ray, Jessica Tyler Brown, effectively portrays the cute curiosity and wonder in a small child. Her relationship with the demon is that of an imaginary friend named Toby that will get her in big trouble if she talks too much about him. Much like a little kid would do if asked if they did something naughty, Christy tries to get out of talking about Toby. She warns us not to bother him, touch him, or invade his space. This, among other well-done performances, makes the hauntings depicted in the film that much more plausible. The truly creepy aspect of this film, and you can ask anybody, is how it makes you feel after your first viewing. You've just seen an 80-minute film depicting the torment of people who are experiencing the torment people are experiencing in the safety of their own home. Sure, a jump scare here and there can startle you for half a second, but you forget about those kinds of movies the moment you leave the theater. Paranormal Activity 3 makes you afraid to shut your eyes in a dark room and go to sleep. Even if you just know ghosts, demons, and paranormal entities do not exist, this film will leave you vulnerable regardless. Everything from a sudden swing of the door or a book falling off the shelf will make you jump after witnessing this film. I don't blame anybody. The majority of this film's action takes place while the characters are sleeping. everyone and anyone will be affected. We all go to sleep. That's the not-so-secret ingredient that makes Paranormal Activity movies truly notable. Another ingredient, one might say, is the method of tension building that dates back to Alfred Hitchcock films, evoking an emotional concern from the viewer. This film does have several jump scares, but the real tension is built when you have to wait for the situation to play out. You know the demon is in the same room as the characters. You know something bad will happen. You can tell the characters are in immediate danger. It almost makes you yell warnings at the screen, and trust me, some people do, for the safety of the unsuspecting victims. The whole other dimension of tension building was thrown in with the oscillating fan camera. In order to get a shot of the whole room, the male lead straps a camera onto an oscillating fan that repeatedly goes from one end of the room to the other, making you wait so long for a proper vantage point of the situation that you almost get agitated. In an even bigger way, the movie is set up so you know that every night the activity will intensify to an even more aggressive point. It's an approach that makes you genuinely afraid and not startled as if you were a baby with a pair of scissors just popping balloons. In the end, this method of slow, careful build-up proves to be a scare tactic that won't be absent in any of the inevitable Paranormal Activity sequels. The Paranormal Activity series is becoming a respectable horror franchise, rivaling that of A Nightmare on Elm Street and Saw. If you're a scary movie lover, chances are you're probably planning on seeing it. If you're not a fan of scary movies, don't bother. It's not going to change your mind one bit. However, do not listen to those who say this movie is boring. The film will be worth your while. My final rating of Paranormal Activity 3 is a B. See you guys later.
I'm Tim Schweiss.
And I'm DeMonte Johnson.
And this is Chaminade Sports. Football ends with 3-5 records, starting the season with 3 wins and ending with 5 losses. The soccer team's season ends abruptly with an upset loss to Harrell Central on Chaminade's very own turf field. Chaminade's swim team ends with a successful record of 12-4, earning 15th in state. DeMonte, how does the winter season look?
Well, Tim, something new to Chaminade this year is our bocce ball team, coached by none other than Mr. Keithley. The wrestling team is back in full force with big names like Andrew Steele and Max Wilhelm, 2 seniors who made a promising run for state last year. Chaminade hockey season has already had a successful start with a promising future. Senior point scorers Sally King and Brendan Wilson are featured on this star-studded squad, which will undoubtedly make an appearance in the playoffs this year. The big question that everyone has been asking, however, Tim, what will Chaminade basketball do this year? The three-point king Andy Kleinlein returns this year to have a promising season, along with senior Harry Yott.
I'm Tim Schweiss.
And I'm DeMonte Johnson.
Thank you for tuning in to CSBN Sports.